If you're doing your CFI training the traditional way, I'll be straightforward with you. You're probably wasting 6 months of your life. You're flying once a week, maybe twice a week. If everything lines up in between, you're guessing what to study, how to practice teaching, and whether you're on track. Meanwhile, other pilots are already instructing. They're building those valuable, precious hours and moving to the airlines. I've seen this over and over again, and it's exactly why I built a better system for you. Hi, I'm Brian Fredrickson. I've been in aviation since I was 13. Spent 25 years in sales and tech, and then I came back. One question drove everything for me. At Fredrickson Aviation, we run a 6 to 10 CFI check rides every month. Over 120 students in the past year. We've seen exactly where training in the traditional manner fails and how we can rebuild that process. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the traditional training drags on for months and how the structured system gets students certified in 30 days with a 90% first-time pass rating. Traditional training means flying once a week. That stretches your training out into 4 to 6 months, and that's before weather and maintenance delays. Research on skill development shows that spaced practice without immediate feedback leads to skill decay. So instead of improving, you're actually relearning the same thing over and over and over. We've had students come in after 6 or 8 months somewhere else with barely 20 hours of log time, not because they weren't committed, but because the system slowed them down. Meanwhile, you could have already been working as a CFI, earning those valuable hours and earning good money. This is where most students fail. At your check ride, you're not being tested as a pilot. You're being tested as an instructor. And most schools never actually coach you on how to teach. So what happens? Great question. You explain the concepts the way you learn them. You skip key safety steps. You don't check for understanding. And the examiner stops you mid-lesson and says, wait. That's a failed check ride and a costly retake. Teaching is a skill. If it's not one is actively coaching and delivering structured communications, you're going to be unprepared. Most instructors leave within 12 to 18 months, maybe a little bit longer. That means that the person training you is often still figuring things out themselves and maybe leave you before you're even finished. You've seen students lose weeks starting with new instructors who completely teach things differently. They get frustrated. Expense comes into play, all of that. At Fredrickson Aviation, everything is built to eliminate these problems. You fly 1 to 2 times a day. You train 7 days a week. You get structure. One-on-one ground sessions where instructors watch you teach and coach you in real time. If weather cancels, not a problem. Then you move to simulator training or ground classes. You never lose your momentum. You always get a fully built, examiner-approved CFI binder on day one. So your focus is on learning and teaching, not building materials from scratch. We had a student who spent 5 months at a traditional school out there with no check ride date. He came to us, trained for 10 days straight, and passed his check ride on the first attempt. Same student, completely different outcome. The traditional CFI training is slow, inconsistent, unstructured. You're left figuring things out on your own, and that is no way to be trained. Accelerated training is focused, coached, and proven. You show up, you follow the system, you get your certificate in about 30 days. If you're serious about becoming a CFI quickly and doing it right, head to fredricksonaviation.com and book a discovery call with me personally.